Next up, we're going to be checking out scientifically figuring out who MagictheNoah hates the most. This is by CutCafe, and I know just enough about MagictheNoah to realize insane bullshit and making people go crazy with everything that happens is not so much par for course, but expected, followed by a helping dose of insanity. This is a guy who I saw make the spiffing Brit feel as if he was going insane. And then everyone else is right, and Spiffing Brit bullshitted his way through everything, but that's because Spiffing Brit is literally the guy who bullshits everything as his entire channel. Oh, God. Also, apparently the thing about Team Fortress 2 being a mod to Doom is because the original Team Fortress actually was a mod. Oh, I did not know that. Cool. Moving on.
Fish, you gotta work on your attitude. Twobold was really happy to be here.
Who?
Yeah, what's the deal?
Hell noises. Return to
MagictheNoah
village.
is a very interesting channel. Originally hosting Magic the Gathering content, the channel's main
Dude, I actually remember that card. That's one of the... Oh, dude. Blacker Lotus. I have this card somewhere. It's a joke Black Lotus from one of the unsets, which was a joke set. And it's so rare now, it's actually worth money itself.
The channel's main focus nowadays are these rigged Google Slides game shows made to torture YouTubers. One of the main
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right.
means of trolling being directly from Noah himself, rigging the game shows against them specifically.
Free
We've got
loss?
trick question trivia, wrong trivia, boards the players can't see, and points being taken away for pointing out minor contradictions or asking real questions.
So goated, bro. Oh my god.
Yeah,
What the fuck?
But who does he hate the most? Well, taking inspiration from that game
I mean, given that this is a guy on the internet, I'm assuming the answer is himself.
theory video where Matt Pat scientifically determines who Mark's most smashable Pokemon is, I want to scientifically...
I'm sorry. They did, but... I was unaware of this, and I'm just disappointed in reality now. The answer is obviously Ditto.
determine who Noah hates the most, and enter the psyche of Noah's noggin to piece together what you should do or avoid.
The fuck
if
is
you
that?
ever wind up in one of his YouTubers.
Lose an arm?
Oh, and
Is that a
just wanted
head
to
and
say,
screaming?
This video took weeks upon weeks of research because I had to go through over 55 hour-long each videos and chart down every time it happened. So for the sake
Yeah, just for that level of bullshit, I'm leaving a like for that.
of filling you in, I should probably explain how this whole thing's gonna work. In my
I'm assuming it doesn't, and you literally drove yourself insane halfway into it.
document itself, I assign the various forms of torment with a 1 to 5 point scale, dubbed disparity points. These are not counting when a player does something to another player, but only actions coming from Noah or his games themselves. I've
Is it the spiffing Brit? It's probably the spiffing. No, because I'm not sure how many times he's been in there.
a lot of counted up categories to have as much data to work with, including what minigame or wheel it was, if a specific NPC triggered it to happen, and if the action was forced or not. A pretty important indicator we'll be looking at deeper when we get to the players.
What do you
As
mean
for
by
the points, they're
forced?
pretty straightforward. One
Like forced as in to keep something going, or forced because you just could fuck around with them and you chose to?
point is for when Noah causes some noteworthy upset among the players or prompts some kind of verbal negative reaction. Not for every time someone is upset, but more for things like screaming or crying, where there's a clear, base, guttural response. Also used for minor infractions in general. 2 points is for RNG, poorly designed wheels, or particularly bad luck. The idea here is that Noah doesn't really account for how likely some of the rolls are, so if there's like a 25% chance rolling twice and they keep hitting it, that's bad game
Goddamn.
design, and it's on Noah to rectify it, or at the very least give some kind of leeway when things get especially rancid, because he should have accounted for how likely something would to happen over and over. 3 points is the most common
I'll be completely fair. I think him letting things be broken is kind of his shtick, so if it wasn't that way, I'd be more surprised.
one. Troll answers or BS rulings that aren't targeted towards anyone in particular. These are usually things Noah has already decided before any of the players begun, so he's not setting anyone at direct disadvantage. 5 points is the maximum as for any ruling that's explicitly to put a particular player at a disadvantage. If he takes away your points, that's a 5. If he doesn't let you do something but then another player is then allowed to later on, that's a 5 too. I won't be mentioning a bunch of these specific moments, but it's good to know the process, especially if on the off chance you decide to go look at the actual sheet with all of this, which I'll be linking
They left a link to the insanity they had to endure. Oh, God. Yeah, I'm just looking at my chat right now where they're trying to decide if this is dedication or hyperfixation. And I'm going with we are reaching dangerous levels of autism on this one. Okay, I thought I'd be saying that louder for my wife to hear because she's like, autism, yeah! Because she's autistic. She didn't hear me, so the joke fell flat. I'm disappointed.
Below in the case anyone's interested in my exact thought processes. And before we begin, just one last disclaimer, not here to cast judgment or stir the pot when it comes to these YouTubers. From the
I'll gladly stir the pot and make judgments. You all have bad hair. Except for the bald guy. His is awesome. All one of it.
videos themselves, I highly doubt that any of the hatred shown goes past doing it for the funny, so obviously no hate to Noah, and I don't think any of the people mentioned here
Is that
hate
tic-tac-toe or
him
cheese?
either. I doubt there's any real targeting or favoritism where Noah has to fill his torture Vernius quota, as I'm sure the results of
I'm pretty sure the torture quota is literally everyone.
about to show
Which is probably
are
the joke.
something even Noah himself had no idea.
So unconscious
Anyways, with that out of
bias.
the way, let's start crunching and munching
Actually, that
on
might
the
be
over
fascinating in its own right.
500 rows of data by starting with videos. I thought
Wait, they did more than just videos? Oh, God. That's yeah, that is, if they're doing more than just videos alone.
Starting place, given that they're the reason for the suffering in question. The last
How many
video
other things did they
uploaded
do?
was
Like just
drawing game, but
random
players
bullshit?
can't Draw. Uploaded just 2 days ago as of this script, though we have a lot of information
The dragon
to
was
consider
evil.
here. For the sake of simplicity, I decided to take every video and categorize them by genre based upon the most common game formats Noah uses. Out of these categories, we have trivia, which is self-explanatory, board game, which is for any game that has a player move along spaces,
Which is
like
the ones
this,
I've seen.
blind, where the player cannot see the game world and has to make their own map if they want to strategize.
Oh,
Word
no.
puzzle, a more modern game type where the players play word game akin to Hangman to guess the word, and lastly, draw for the games in which the player can draw their own assets. And cards, I forgot to mention it because I'm a phony. When
Cards?
lumping the categories together, we have board game as the highest amount of
Which is how I knew
points,
him from.
702, nearly double in the lead of the second highest suffering score for RPG. Though this should be expected given just how many games are of the board game category. 23 out of the 58 in this data set. As I
Oh.
said, the second place RPG is nearly half of that at
Also, when I was referencing a bald man, I was actually thinking of Doug. That's where I was going. I know, it's an old, overused joke, but I'm still making it. I have no excuse.
359. The genre with the lowest disparity points wound up being cards. Not too surprising, as it was one of the only two categories to include a video that had absolutely zero Noah card disparity. That being the video card game, but the cards are randomly generated, in which no rules were bent to hurt anyone. It was just overall a fun, pain-free time. I don't think many people are here for the genres, though. What about singular videos? In third place, we surprisingly have I made a game, but the players can't see each other. I say surprising because on average, blind videos don't have a lot of disparity moments due to the main troll being wrapped up in the concept itself, or most pain being caused by other players. In fact, whenever a video of this category showed up, I would always dread it because I'd have to slog through an hour or more long video, knowing there'd likely only be 1 or 2 actual moments to chart. However, this video being the third highest score is a strong subversion of this. Mostly
And if it's the strong subversion, that actually is probably heavily weighted even beyond the normal 5 points, or probably won't be, but it should be, because if everything's blinded, yet there's still clear deference or malice, that would probably be an indicator that it's more powerful because it goes against convention.
part of most of the disparity points marked being a max 5. A good chunk of this being due to outright lying, such as when they tell all tribe they can't go up when they can, to inconsistent rulings, such as Circle Tunes being rewarded for complimenting Noah,
Oh, God.
Crow being punished for it, and even one moment where Noah makes a brand new punishing wheel and makes all tribes step in it.
Oh,
In second place,
God.
we have D&D, but the players hate each other. Another
Well, I'm dead.
Circle Tunes all tribe video in which another massive amount of targeted bad things happen. Majority of which targets Circle Tunes, as this is the video when she becomes Noah's favorite pincushion when it comes to bad things for the sake of funny. Most
Oh,
constant
God.
and noteworthy of which being how his maximum health is cut in half again and again, and any logical attempts at fixing this only punish him more until he quite literally only has 1/128th of a heart, and every breath is suffering. The video with the number one highest amount of
Oh my
suffering
God.
was Noah's 4th ever game show. Game
Fourth?
show where I didn't tell the players how to win. A classic Fish Twobold Lewis video that racked up lots of points for things like ignoring player choice, with the invention and first ever appearance of the Shadow Realm, as
What?
well as the Super Shadow Realm.
Oh
which
my
later gave
God.
Twobold his patent and did Stockholm Syndrome for the space.
What?
Several cases of players auto-losing, the Goodwill...
So
getting
it's not
bad
winning, it's just everyone else
consequences,
loses
and the
first?
majority of items bought at the shop doing absolutely nothing.
They got the Blue Eyes White Dragon, man. That's awesome.
Go! It's Goodwill.
Lose 1 gold. Oh my god.
As the wheels dictated, you will now lose 1 gold.
As for least painful videos, I've already talked about how card game but cards are randomly generated has absolutely no suffering, but there's actually another video with zero disparity.
Oh?
That being Trader Game, but there's no traitor, surprisingly. Though this
Oh. Sorry, I absolutely love trader games because it's always the chance that you're wrong that makes people really fucked up. I play a lot of Betrayal 3rd Edition. It's a tabletop game where in most of the scenarios, the first half of the game, you don't know who the traitor is. And then depending on what things certain order-wise come out, you find out who it is. And you'd never know until the end. So everyone is trying to slowly build up their player abilities and get items to make themselves stronger because you don't know if you're going to need to use it to kill everyone else or not. But sometimes you don't know who the traitor is and you just have to hope they don't fuck you over when they reveal it. And other times, there is no traitor, but you're not allowed to know that. And it's so horrible because you can get so incredibly screwed up for absolutely no reason to the point where when nothing happens, you become more and more paranoid and your paranoia feeds into you because most of the time, you're fine. But you're not sure about it. And it's awesome and I love it.
is more so due to the players doing a fine enough job on their own to cause suffering to themselves. Being one of those videos where they double or nothing everything they see until they have nothing but an empty pit in their heart and soul, and a gambling addiction. Outside of that, though, for the videos with the least amount of suffering, Noah's first and third videos are tied for third. I Made a Game Show to Torture YouTubers, and Horrible Jeopardy, both of whom only have 4 points among them. A game show to torture YouTubers having just a troll answer and ignoring a possible solution to a question, and Horrible Jeopardy having 2 coin flip based questions that are purely RNG to win.
Also, I'm going to need to quickly take one aside. We are currently in the last hour of the subathon, so I'm going to change things up briefly and we're going to double everything. 1 second, I'll let you know as soon as it's back. For future me, I will edit this. I'm going to currently add a double to every donation as the last hour bonus. All right. It keeps thinking I'm spelling in Portuguese for some reason. I don't know why the website believes that. So for every member, it'll be 600 seconds. For every sub, it'll be 10 seconds. For every dollar, it'll be 120 seconds. And PayPal chat is also 240 seconds if someone happens to find that. Effective immediately, that is where it goes. All right, we're good. All right, where's the video? Ah, there it is. So yeah, as of right now, donations are in some cases quadrupled. Just because it's the last hour, I figured you might as well get it. And this way, we also guarantee if anyone drops in that we can get all the videos you guys wanted to see in. And Valerian, Zero will kill you in Minecraft. Honestly, I don't think Zero is here right now, which is probably the reason I only risk doing. Because if he was here, he would do it immediately. And just to be completely off like script for once, I do feel guilty about how much Zero has given, and I'd rather him save some money. So doing it when he's not here is probably the safest option. Moving on.
Second, we have I Made a Game But Losing Is Good, whose only point is a 3-pointer where Noah gives Small Ant a triangle space despite him asking for a square. Not a big deal, but still definitely a...
What the hell was that? Was he just giving them Yeah. This is a kill path of creation version over here, except it's only 6 instead of 10.
But still definitely a troll answer. And lastly and first, we have I Made a Game But the Players Are Blind.
Ah. Zero. You're here still. I might have made a mistake.
Which only has one singular point for a minor lie Noah said about there being text under his sign the whole time when there wasn't. Either way, though, the worst video category looks to be Game Show, RPG, and Trivia,
and immediately after saying that, Tabata and Air dropped in a 10-euro thing. And yeah, that already dropped the time up to 20 minutes added on. Well, I said what I said.
best to get in on is
Thank you, man.
cards, drawing, and blind. What about the games themselves? In my research, I also made sure
Does he
to
have a
note
gun?
if suffering was triggered by a specific minigame, wheel, or something else, as well as NPCs separately. I was able to determine that within games, third place is the bad wheel, which is to be expected at 53 points. More surprising, though, is a second place tie between the D20 wheel and word puzzles, both of which...
Sorry, word puzzles or something. I'm an English major. I do a lot of writing. I hate word puzzles with a passion. And, ooh, gonna bring this one up just in case. So Rube, for the Tale Foundry video, you shall take it all. And Martin, you know what? Screw it. I shall push for mage until we do it. Oh, God. Thank you very much, guys. And that gives us 2 hours. Well, shit. That means we definitely probably have enough for everything then. See how this goes.
Which racking up...
Oh, and Harky, you upgraded
87
memberships. Thank you.
points. Last place, we have a more than double lead from third, which is
Double
the
lead?
Jeopardy trivia category.
Wait,
with
Jeopardy is the most punished.
123 total disparity points worth of wrong answers, troll answers, and instant losses. Although not making it to the top 3, there is another extremely important game to bring up, that being Pokemon battles, which despite only coming up in...
What's happening? You okay? Sorry, the cats outside were going crazy. Oops. Also, I'm probably going to need to drop down the membership rewards because you guys already more than doubled what we had left. That worked, though. I'll leave it up for a few more minutes.
2 of Noah's videos racked up a whopping 40 disparity points with a 100% force rate, which makes
How
now
much?
a pretty good time to explain force. When I was going through all these videos, something I would mark is whether or not the moment was forced, yes or no.
What do they mean by
in this
forced?
context means it was something that Noah made happen, or more specifically, if it was unreasonable for the players to have any real choice in what happened. So if someone went to a space and it happened to have a bad outcome, that's not forced, but if Noah decides he didn't like what you just said and takes away your points himself, or a rule changes and there's nothing you can do, that's forced, because even if you did the most logical thing in that moment, you can't really veto or argue against whatever just happened to you.
So in other words, it's not so much this is him forcing an interaction, it's him forcing an outcome. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Also, I'm just going to quickly go over and change that back because you guys crushed the goal. That means I probably need to do that. And that does give us enough time that we can actually finish everything, which is kind of my goal. All right. That said, any donations that come in and jack up the price or the time before I change it back, I will honor still. All right, memberships. Oh, don't want to set it to 6,000. Do not want to set it to 6,000. That would be bad. 1 for every sub. Chat is back down to 30. Super chat for PayPal is back to 60. I'm going to hit the save button. So if anyone wants to get a last minute donation in, do it right now. Otherwise, we will get it in. Actually, it might be fun just to do it this way. You got 15 seconds. Do it now. I'm not looking at chat right now in case anyone is doing it. I should probably actually hit start. As soon as that goes, I'll hit save and the change will be reverted. That is 14 minutes. That is not the correct one. That is not right at all. I am an idiot. That is not seconds. That is not seconds at all. Okay, let's try that again without me being an idiot. I was wondering why it was moving so slowly. All right, there we go. And then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's the wrong button. Hitting save now. Okay, now we're good. And we're set. All right. Sorry about that. Random aside. Moving back to the game. And Tabana, you want me to see the Homestuck pilot? That one I might not be able to because it's made by VisiPop, whose a lot of stuff has been picked up. And if it's going on Netflix or somewhere like maybe Amazon, it would get the channel stricken, like get me a strike, even if I put it up normally. Some of the Hazbin Hotel stuff has been heavily blocked because of that. and I've had to cut out huge sections, even of older videos. Yeah. And the ones I do are more or less completely obstructed, so you can only tell that I'm reacting to it and not what I'm reacting to, which is probably the fair line for something like that. Because that is very much just transformative content. I mean, technically, everything I do is me commenting on everything, and it is done for the sake of review, so it is fair use, but those are very loose rules. I mean, it's not like they don't make money off it. They claim the videos every time, and everything you watch for my videos reacting to that stuff does go straight to Amazon or Netflix. I really should figure out who owns it now.
Case of these Pokemon battles, though, every time a Pokemon has caused disparity, it was due to Noah directly. For example,
black
when
hole?
Sophis dies to a Hydroblast from a Squirtle despite it only rolling a 9, Sophis gets an item slot permanently taken away from him for the rest of the game. Nick gets captured by a Zapdos, even though earlier it was established that players could not be caught, leaving Nick in a very awkward and uncomfortable situation. And when
Does he play
catches
Zapdos?
Gyarados, despite every other time instantly getting your caught Pokemon, Zapdos steals it from him and uses it himself. And
Oh, God.
despite being a Pokemon themselves, able to have multiple Pokemon, whereas these trainers get to only have one and are not informed of this prior. Rip Gengar, you will be missed. These
Oh my
Pokemon are
God.
foaming at the mouth feral, and so whenever you see one, it is within your best interest to run away before Noah decides to experiment with cooking mechanics. If you
What?
want to know what minigames or space
That's a joke, right? They didn't actually eat people? I'm just looking at chat, and no, I don't see anyone doing that. Also, if the Homestuck pilot does get a lot of other people checking it out and it's safe, maybe I will at that point.
might be safe, however, you might be surprised to hear that the safest spaces of the ones that have any disparity points at all are tied between Missile Outpost and the Arena of Math. Both of them
God.
only have
He did a math game? Oh, he is a monster.
1 point, as the Missile Outpost only gets a point because Lewis got verbally upset at 1 point, and the Arena of Math never really had a wrong or trollish answer. It was
Really?
just math, which might honestly be worse depending on the person. Here's something interesting.
Yes.
Let's talk about which NPCs or Noah-created characters caused the most harm to the players.
Is
The
it
Goblin
Noah?
is an obvious choice, as they appear to be easily the most common character when it comes to a negative force that the players must battle or fight against, appearing in about 1/3 of Noah's videos, which is why it's no surprise that the Goblin isn't number 1.
Really?
I was pretty surprised by this.
A third of the videos and they're not?
They kept putting Goblin in that box. I was confident that they were going to win by a landslide, but as it turns out, they're only second with a 48.5 point total,
What?
28 of which are forced. In third place, we have Demons, which isn't too surprising.
Yeah.
But this is a combined total, combining Demons, Demon Lords, Shadow Demons, and other such things. Technically, one type of demon has less points than Vernius's ladder, in total tallying up to 43 points, with the highest forced points at 38. So
higher
is
forced,
number 1?
less
It's
total.
Pokemon from before. Again, surprisingly,
Yeah, that
because
makes
it only
sense.
really popped up in like 2 or 3 videos if you don't count Vaporeon, which you shouldn't, given they have no disparity to their name. Tallying up all Pokemon together, you get 52
Not
points,
touching that one.
48 of them being forced. Slightly bumped up now that we're not only considering Pokemon battles specifically, but Pokemon doing anything at all in his videos. Flipping the script
Yeah.
again, if we were to try and find the least suffering NPCs in Noah's videos, we have in third place Leonard the Pig, a drawing created by Yi but still controlled by Noah, so it still counts. In second, we have a 4-way tie between an Angel, Adventurer, Dark Wizard, and Sophit's Pocket Dudes that leave him immediately. And in
What?
first place, we have Alexander from The Weirdest Game of D&D, for Noah killing them off when Thoughtful tries to bring their friend with them. And so now is the
Why?
moment you've probably been waiting for. Or skip 2, which... not cool, man. Who are the top 3 people Noah hates the most?
Oh, they actually found the
This
top
video
3.
actually has to guess and say I knew it, by the way, because the results aren't what you'd expect right away, as I myself was so confident on who it was going to be, only to be completely off. Ready? In third place, we have Ultrive at 110 points.
We saw that from
83%
the-
of which are
well, all the
forced,
previous ones that
primarily
were
thanks
brought
to
up.
points and coins being taken away for joking.
I'm going to take a wild guess and say the person who gets the most is going to be a certain person with a white blob mascot. Just throwing it out there.
away for joking about things like Noah's handwriting, but also because of being a main punching bag in the third most painful video, I made a game but players can't see each other from
Is that
earlier.
on Point
Now,
Crow?
outside of this video, we also have I made a game with stupid word puzzles, which had a lot of moments for Ultrive in which on several occasions they get the answer correct, but Noah decides anyways to give it to somebody else with the exact same answer. There's also a point in which Ultrive struggles to come up with an insult that stands for emotional damage, and they are punished despite not being the target of the wheel. Next up, and far more expected, is Fish in second place. 141 points at a nice and chill 55% force rate, meaning a little under half of the bad things that happened to them weren't exactly from Noah, and were in
So it's half the time almost, but a little more than. Also, Raw. Ooh, gotta bring this up. Can I tempt you to try a different Pancreas No Work video? Example, all the factions of Warhammer Fantasy or Thanquil? The Horned Rat's funny, silly, clowniest moments. I'll be honest, if I don't watch that one, I might just do it myself because that sounds awesome. Maybe we won't have time this time around unless that timer jumps up again, but keep it on the list because I actually want to check that out. That sounds fun.
Instead due to the game itself or bad luck. Fish is pretty expected thanks to number 1 being in so many of Noah's videos alongside Twobold, and number 2 because of their group, they're the punching bag. You see this in most of the videos they show up in, mainly thinks they're a much softer, more hesitant nature compared to Luz's cocky antagonistic side, or Twobold's bold throw yourself at the problem persona. So if Fish isn't number 1, then who is it? Well, it has to go to none other than Circle Tunes, surprisingly.
Called it.
Titanic 234. Nearly 100
Oh, dear
points
God.
more.
That is almost double second place and definitely double third place. Damn.
Than Fish with a whopping 83%, just like Ultrive. This is especially odd as in their trio of Ultrive, Point Crow, and Circle Tunes, prior to this, Ultrive was the punching bag of the group, remaining the
But they've been there
case
so
even
long
Point
it
Crow
evened
was
out.
swapped out for Slimesicle in their trio. However, one particular video seemed to change this, at least in the mind of Noah, or if not intentionally. His higher soul has some extreme beef with him ever since the video D&D, but the players hate each other, where Noah made a quote-unquote impossible game of D&D where they have to defeat a plague serpent as level 1 adventurers with next to nothing on them. In this video, something seemed to shift in Noah's mind after around the 8-minute mark, as allow me to read off everything Circle Tunes suffered in this video alone. Circle Tunes dies instantly even though the spider rolled a nat 2. Despite Ultrive rolling a 2, meaning he should be the one who gets the consequences, Circle Tunes is hit by Ultrive's cannon and instantly dies instead. By the way, this was a separate 2, just to clarify. When Circle Tunes offers that because they defeated the boss spider that they should each be given a heart, Point Crow and Ultrive get one, but not Circle Tunes.
They actually succeeded and he still failed? Oh, that's just mean. Like the others like, okay, narrative. Succeeding and then still losing. Okay.
Instead, he loses a max heart, having canonically the same amount of hearts as a frog. Despite Circle rolling well, often implying more control, the attack fails and hits Point Crow, killing him instantly, and Circle is then punished for Noah's judgment, as he only has a maximum of half a heart from here on out. Circle Tunes is knocked down to a fourth max heart permanently. Circle Tunes begs the Potion Keeper for a potion of health because someone has made him so weak in HP they can hardly stand.
Did he kill his dog or something? Like, did he go to Magic Noah's family and it's like, hey, I need your fluffiest puppy. I'm gonna eat it. Because that's the only thing I can expect at this point.
When they're given this, they roll instant death and dies instantly. Circle Tunes now only has 1/8 of a heart permanently. A light sneeze could kill them. When Circle Tunes begs again, they are left with 1/16 of max health. When Circle Tunes complains that he wasn't given the stolen heart, and how Ultrive now has 5, Noah puts Circle down to 1/32 of a heart for complaining. Noah doesn't even have a reason for this one. 1/64.
Oh my
and
God.
Lastly, when Point Crow dies, Circle Tune loses another half of their max health, putting them down to 1/128. I don't know what to say about
down
this.
to pixels.
So scientifically, I can say that out of everyone that has suffered in Noah's game shows, that Circle Tunes is 100% the one that has suffered the most. But for fun, let's see who's targeted the most via the highest amount of forced points only. Circle and Ultrive's 83% is still technically in the lead, but looking past that, the next highest percentage is Point Crow. Unsurprising given how much pain Noah seem to put their select trio in. Below this,
oh, so it's not a category of who's having the most damage overall, it's who's being the most forced to take damage.
This, though, we have Too Bold at a surprisingly low 63%.
Oh.
The last person to have triple digits, as Lewis SMLE, is just a half a point behind at
Ooh.
99.5 due to having the only half point of disparity. If you want to look at who has the highest force ratio, regardless of total points, however, that has to go to Bumbler, who's the only
Really?
person with a whopping 100%. That
But only
means
10.
every inch of suffering Bumbler has experienced was handcrafted from Noah's sweaty
But only
palm.
10,
This is because
so...
Bumbler only appeared in one video and only had 2 moments of suffering, each for 5 points. One for getting punished for failing to insult someone who rolled emotional damage, causing them to get the points removed, and the other in which Noah overrides Bumbler's guess and makes him spin the bad wheel. If we
God.
want to look at the least targeted, it's not too surprising that in 3rd place is Wubby and 2nd is Doug, as both haven't appeared in enough videos to experience much wrath, because both are
Wait, Doug didn't get it? Maybe I'm just missing that because I thought the entire video with Doug and... Oh, this must... How old is this video from anyways? It's only 4 months ago, and I know Doug has been in more videos. Huh.
pretty willing to make themselves
I
suffer
thought everyone
for the
just
sake of
bullies Doug.
punchline. This is especially easy to see in any Doug-based video, which would naturally rank far lower than any other videos, simply because Doug's natural do-it-for-the-funny energy entertains Noah enough for them to not feel the need to force anything.
Yeah, that kind of does it. Plus, Doug bullies himself as much as everyone else.
In fact, it was for this reason that when I asked people, many thought Doug would have the lowest score. But the #1 spot is very interesting because they have, at the very least as of right now, never experienced any suffering from Noah. And before you ask, no, it's not Noah himself, that answer's too cheap. But if you want to guess it right, here's your opportunity. The person who has not suffered once is the Spiffing Brit at 0 total disparity points. And if you've watched this guy's content, I'm sure you kind of know why. As the Spiffing Brit's main shtick is that he will take advantage of the rules the game has to break and take advantage of it. Whereas
Honestly, I literally thought that would be why he would have the most disparity, because someone's out breaking the breaker of rules by breaking them.
other contestants will often be forced to ask questions that Noah doesn't like or confront him about inconsistencies, Spiff will pretty casually take advantage of the rules in a way Noah can't really contest. In a way, Spiff's strategy is just to assert whatever you're going to do before Noah has any real chance of combating it. Not in the way of like, I have 2 trillion points now because I say so, but more in the way of, because you said this earlier, I'm gonna do this. Where Noah doesn't really have any room to counter it without also countering himself. Unlike others who will ask
But hasn't he also countered himself many times? Unless the rule is, oh, so it's not I'm doing this and then, well, I have a rule that you specifically can't do this. It's because Brit is going in and saying, because you said this, I'm deciding this action. And he still could do it, but it sounds like he's overruling himself. Okay, so he's playing along with it is a really big part of it.
permission from Noah before they do it, giving them the chance to correct it before it can happen. There's also the fact that when something bad would happen to them, mainly by other players or luck that didn't warrant any disparity, the Spiffing Brit would pretty clearly not react. A great rocking strategy that makes it pretty difficult to make any real comedy from the suffering of him in particular,
Because he's British, he has a stiff upper
naturally more
lip.
laid back and uncaring about it compared to Raren or Fur, who act far louder and voice their discontent in a more content-usable way. This is also good as this puts up a doing his own thing vibe that makes the other contestants focus on each other rather than Spiff until he's built up enough to become a problem.
So in other words, Spiffing Brit pulled a Spiffing Brit in a game that didn't even have rules except for the ones that were made up and don't actually matter. Yeah, this does actually sound about right.
See this in nearly every video he shows up in.
You check out his
Fur and
Stellaris
Raren.
video.
Raren's the punching bag of their group, and Fur just likes to focus on fighting things, so just let them fight each other, let Noah focus on their funnies and trolling them, and build up your own little empire to the point that no one can stop you.
Yeah.
It's that easy. Looking at the lowest force percent, there are plenty of people who have 0%.
Oh?
Maulpound, Andy, Joel, and Spiff, again, all have a clean goose egg. Not counting them, however, we have Tamago at 26% and Volpixie at 29%. Due to not showing up in many games themselves, and the games that they did show up in being primarily PvP focused, where it was players
PvP
fighting and
games?
trolling other players.
So
Probably
he doesn't
because
need to
they're
force it
turned
because he's
by
already
the
doing
fact
it.
that Tamago 100% the possible quiz book, and a few of Noah's trick questions may have been borrowed from it. In third, though, we have Captain Kid at 30%, despite the many videos they have been in. Only 12 of their
Really?
50 being forced, and overall having an incredibly low number given just how long Captain Kid has been a contestant for.
It almost seems like if there's the #1 person Noah loves, it would probably be that guy, just for that many examples of not being screwed over.
and how many videos they have been a part of. And so with all that being said, we have Circle Tunes at the most disparity and Spiffing Brit at the least. And we know a little bit of why, but I decided to go a step further. Taking all of the traits of the most commonly seen in the best and worst moments, I've decided to create my own fake contestants to show the theoretical maximum of who would be the most and least targeted. Pretty much see this as a contingency plan of what you should and should not do if you were ever made to go to one of these game shows. From the data, it seems like the best YouTuber contestant for the best chance at minimal suffering would first of all be a reaction channel, maybe with some skits or comedy on the side. As when checking what kind of YouTubers each of these different contestants were, these three categories seem to get far less points than others. On the worst side, the worst contestant
Having a react channel on the best side feels weird. It's like that's not usually how that works. I don't like this. Stop. No. It just feels wrong. I mean, what kind of asshole would have a reaction channel and not expect to get punched in the dick? There's a reason I wear a cup.
it would be a gaming channel, particularly an FPS-focused one. In personality, the best would need to have a laid-back persona.
Actually, that's a lie. They don't fit.
With enough confidence to say what they're going to do next without asking for permission, but without coming off as demanding either. They'd need to be polite and observant enough to reuse what Noah himself puts down, as well as willing to be the butt of the joke themselves. After all, if you make yourself the butt of the joke, Noah won't make you the punchline.
Although, I'll be honest, one of those things from YouTube is if you're not willing to make yourself the joke, you probably shouldn't be on the internet in general.
The worst, however, seems to be a particularly submissive yet competitive individual that assumes logic. They must be a perfectionist who might attempt to correct mistakes and remind Noah of past rules, despite how this may anger and upset other players.
Yeah.
A surprising finding during this is that, although likely a psychological thing, Noah seems to generally target players with a higher pitched voice more than lower ones.
Oh?
So the best players should have a deeper than average voice, and the worst should have a higher one. And
Fuck. I mean, yeah. I do always talk in this voice. This is my natural voice. Yeah. Yeah, Bentley. Okay, not even as a joke that actually started to hurt my throat. No.
as we mentioned earlier, the best would likely need to be invited specifically to a card or drawing-based game, and the
Yeah, if it was a drawing game, I'd be fucked.
worst would need to be invited to a board game or RPG. No, there isn't any specific person that 100% fits the best contestant, but as I was going through the list of theoretical worst contestants, you might have noticed I used Vernius's profile picture, because through sheer statistical anomaly, Vernius should be the theoretical cap for the worst traits you could have in a MagictheNoah contestant, only missing one or two of the traits. Vernius, although not an FPS gamer, is a gaming YouTube channel part of the Party Crashers, mainly playing Mario Party and Kirby. Within their group,
Oh god, people actually play Mario Party as a main part of their channel? Just tell me you hate other people without having to spell it out, man.
they're traditionally the submissive one of them, but still has a competitive nature when it comes to Mario Party. It's just that they aren't going to let you win just because you're acting sad, but in that same vein, if there's a grandma voice stuck in a cave asking for help, Vernius has a good head on his shoulders and is naturally going to want to help out. The exact type of headspace that Noah likes to take advantage of. Although I wouldn't call Vernius an extreme perfectionist, it's almost always
kind of a
them who corrects
perfectionist.
mistakes and then gets punished for them, and despite already knowing they'll probably get points taken away for doing it, they still do. There's straight up a running joke within the Party Crashers themselves of Vernius scolding other players for not using their items. And on top of that, Nick
Oh,
has
they're
on
that
several
player.
occasions made fun of Vernius for reminding Noah to give them punishments or debuffs, making Vernius enemy number one, but also
Oh my
punching
God.
bag number one for comedy.
I'm sorry, they actually reminded to get debuffs? At that point, you kind of just walked into it, man. You did it to yourself. Also, Negro going, I am a man, not a cow. Dost thou protest too much?
Vernius has a naturally higher-pitched male voice, which, as we discussed earlier, is targeted more on average. Though luckily they aren't a very loud individual like all Triver Circle Tunes, and of course, they're almost always invited with the other Party Crashers to do board games or other RPGs specifically. So it's pretty safe to say that Vernius ticks off almost all of our boxes. But how come despite all of that, they aren't number one? How come despite all of that, they're not even close? Despite
only
being in
11th.
several videos, Vernius only has 63 disparity points, 39 of which are forced, giving us
Higher
a
percentage, not the worst.
62% forced ratio. This doesn't even make them the highest scoring party crasher, as that goes to Sophist at 78 points and 51 forced.
Oh, wow.
But in order to discover why this is, you need to remember Noah's psyche. Noah trolls YouTubers for the funny, that's his job. And part of the funny is that if
playing
someone
into it.
challenges him, he punishes them to hell and back because power trips are also funny.
Yeah.
And lucky for Vernius, there's someone right there who's more than willing to, at least unintentionally, take the heat off Vern. Two of them, actually. Sophist, like I mentioned before, and Nick. Sophist actually shares a lot of the traits that would have otherwise saved him, mainly in that he uses the rules of the game itself, and that he makes himself the butt of the joke a lot of times. But where this would usually defend him, it actually hurts him when you consider the main persona he is amongst the quartet is that he is the problem child of the group. His whole role is to be antagonistic and get under everyone's skin by doing a bit of trolling. As such,
Wait, what did he say over there? Oh, it's just Doug in the game, yeah. Thought they
Sophist
wrote something on the
takes up
screen
a lot
itself.
of the pressure put on Vern because he's redirecting it to himself by purposefully doing bad ideas, by arguing with the game master so he retaliates, by doing nothing but thunderspells so Vern can stream Sophist no while he dropkicks a child.
God.
That's his thing. On the other side of this is of course Nick, whose persona on his side is being a toxic little gremlin who's overcompetitive and cocky. A perfect
So, he's a standard person playing Fortnite. I know what I said.
tool for Noah to quote-unquote troll by setting him up to fail or putting him at a disadvantage. And within the party crashers themselves, it's pretty well known that Nick often targets Vernius, as within Noah's games, this is true too. So on top of Nick's very persona making him a target for Noah, on top of Sophist, attached to that soldier guarding child from Knives being here, even if Noah did want to make Vernius suffer, all he'd need to do is trap him in a room with Nick, which Vern did to himself apparently.
Nick, what are you doing?
Why?
Are you? Is he threatening Vern IRL?
Or more likely, Noah would just need to bump up Nick's power and let Vernius accidentally make an enemy out of himself by reminding him of something bad. Which he has done, if you remember that time when Nick was given an ability that was literally just kill Vernius instantly. So pretty much Sophist can kind of unknowingly take blows
For
from
punishment,
Vernius
yeah.
by being funnier to punish.
Bruh.
And having more reasons to, on top of Vernius getting most of their suffering from the other players, something which my list doesn't account for. So yeah, the Vern Nation survives!
I wonder what it'd be like who's the most punching bag for every single person there. Because it does feel like that. Also, Zero going, I cast Thunder Spell. I prefer casting Fist myself.
For now. Hopefully Noah doesn't see this and get some creative ideas. And so
Or
with all
would
of that
he?
strategizing in mind, I will finally take my turn and move 2 squares.
You move 1 space, you lose your next turn.
Fuck!
Ha! Oh, dude. All I can say is, yeah, it makes perfect sense. Still surprised Spiffing Brit was not punished at all, but I guess he does fit the motif in ways that make sense. I just remember the game being absolute. Actually, no, the one time I saw where Spiffing Brit was in there, he was the one taking advantage of every single rule, and Noah was getting such a kick out of it. He just let him do it because he was doing his job for him. Yeah, actually, in hindsight, it does make perfect sense. Huh. Yeah. Oh, man. MagictheNoah definitely comes off as someone who's absolutely batshit insane, man. And I'm kind of here for it. I feel sorry for the guys at the top, though, because that's just like, hey, you want to sign up for punishment? Actually, no, never mind. That's basically the internet. It makes perfect sense. A lot of this does make sense when I think about... Huh. Either way, you guys know the deal. There's a link below to the original video. Hit it up. See you guys in the next one. Adios.